everybody, welcome to Big Balls Fantasy Football, the show with powerful picks, sexy super fans, and is really fun. I'm your host, 20-year fantasy veteran, Greg Reifsteck.
And I'm your co-host, Jenilee Borick, and we're typically both huge Bears fans.
We're still huge Bears fans.
Together, we are the beauty
and the beast
of fantasy football experts.
The reason we're saying that is we are blacked out this week. She's grayed out. I'm blacked out. I mean, I'm really pissed off. We lost to the damn Dolphins, 27-14, got humiliated. It was just not a good fantasy showing last week at all. And there was one play that started it all.
Started it all, drove me crazy. I couldn't stop talking about it. I couldn't let this play go. I was pissed off. I was swearing a lot more than I normally am.
Yes, she was. She's usually stopping me from doing that.
And it was the first possession that the Bears had. They were in good field position. It was a 3rd and 1, and Trestman decides to pass the ball into double coverage to Alshon Jeffrey, in which he does not catch the ball. Instead of running Forte on that 3rd and 1, we had done 2 passes in a row. He decides to pass the ball a 3rd time, and I said, just hand the frickin' ball off to Forte. Let him get the yard. You're already in good field position. And move the ball and hopefully get at least a field goal, get points on the board to start out, because our defense had gotten the Dolphins out right away. The Dolphins had the first possession. So it was 0-0. You have good field position. You have a chance to get at least 3 points on the board if you just move the ball a little bit. And we were 3 and out. Would not run Forte for that 3rd down, and it drove me nuts.
Now, here's going to be the biggest mystery that we're never going to find out about. Reading in the press a lot, of course, the problem that we're having again is Jay Cutler. Basically, we have a Ferrari right now of a team, but Jay Cutler is like the 15-year-old kid trying to learn stick shift with the damn thing. Still, seriously, that's what he was doing last week, because it came out, and because Jay Cutler canceled his usual appearance on your show that you listen to. What's the show in Chicago that you love?
It's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN, Chicago.
Right. So he canceled that appearance, and it came out in the press that Trestman isn't going to let him switch as many plays at the line anymore and is going to keep him on a short leash. He hinted at the fact that there were 4 to 5 plays during the game that he was not happy that Jay switched to call at the line, and they were all runs to passes and all in the first half.
And that's what was driving me crazy, was the play selection. I'm sitting here like, what are we doing? You have one of the best running backs in the league, and you're not handing the ball off to him. And when they did hand the ball off to him, he's getting yards. It's not like he's getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage or he's gaining half a yard. I mean, he's getting 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards. When you're handing it to him, hand him the frickin' ball. The Bears only handed the ball off twice in the first quarter. Absolutely ridiculous. They ended up having 224 yards of offense in the entire game against a Dolphins defense that is not a very high-ranked defense at all. I mean, that game, I was more upset about this game, I think, than any loss this season. It puts us 0-3 at home. Bears haven't done that in a decade. There's problems, and there's obviously... we talked about and we found out after the game some issues going on in the locker room with players being frustrated. Right.
So, yeah, just a really, really bad week overall for the Bears. Even worse week for the Seahawks. Not only do they lose this week to the Rams, but the reason I think that possibly happened is they started their week with a really big change. Percy Harvin getting traded out of nowhere, complete shocker, to the Jets for, I think it was a conditional 3rd-round pick. A low pick. Now, this guy, they went for a lot. It was like a 1st-rounder and a 2nd-rounder. What did they give up for him? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what they gave up to get him, but they gave up quite a bit. And his contract was a pretty decent-sized contract, too, money-wise. So it's shocking that he misses most of last season, being injured, does come back and play in the playoffs, and obviously the Super Bowl win makes a big impact play in that game. And then he's been pretty much healthy this season, and they trade him at such a weird time this season, middle of the season. You don't see a lot of these big name trades happen. I thought possibly it was because of him being injury prone and having injuries. But what I was hearing came out was problems in the locker room with him. He's not the best teammate. I did not know that.
When you punch out Golden Tate, in the locker room, that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, and I think that happened apparently last year since Golden Tate's with the Lions now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he got into a fight with Doug Baldwin as well. So I did not know he had locker room issues, but I think that is probably the reason they traded him.
Right, and that's one thing Pete Carroll's not going to put up with. He's a very disciplinarian type of coach, and apparently they've been trying to trade him since the beginning of the season, but just haven't had any offers. And then there was the insane offer that they made to the Broncos. Julius Thomas straight up for Percy Harvin. I mean, what did they think? Elway was just some rube on the street or something. It was just really a pathetic offer.
Yeah, they were definitely contacting teams and wanting a tight end, especially since they're having some tight end issues over there. And so they were trying to make some of these straight-up trades. And it's really interesting to read about. I know the Colts were another team that they contacted.
Yeah.
A couple of franchises that, said no to Percy Harvin. And that's when you're starting to think, okay, why are these major franchises saying no to a guy that's such a big playmaker?
Mm-hmm.
But if he's poison in the locker room, then these franchises aren't going to want him.
And so, of course, who do they call? The Jets. Bring him on. We got Michael Vick here. We dealt with Sanchez. Just, come on over. We'll take you. Stats-wise, 133 receiving yards. He was only getting 26.6 average yards a game, and he had no TDs for the season. I'd get rid of his ass, too.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with him is he is a difference maker when he's on the field.
Agreed.
Defenses have to account for him, and he can make a big play at any moment.
Right.
And if you use him correctly, he can do a lot for your team. So, I think sometimes, maybe with them it was scheme-wise, they weren't doing as much with him. But, he's a guy that defenses have to account for. So it was pretty shocking that they traded him.
So this week we're, of course, going to have my Beast Mode picks and your Real Men picks. And we each have a pick that plays into the whole Percy Harvin soap opera. So stay tuned for that. Also, tell them about Sunday Fun Day.
Oh, we had a great Sunday Fun Day. We were celebrating Greg's birthday, actually. It was his birthday weekend.
We had something to celebrate on Sunday. It sure as hell wasn't the Bears.
Wasn't the Bears.
Nope.
So it was Greg's birthday weekend. We were out at Outpost with Lexi to see some Peyton Manning action. Some special stuff went down in that game. So we have some great footage from our Sunday Fun Day as well.
Yeah, we have found another one of our super fans, Logan. We got him on last season, and we have him back, our resident Dallas Cowboys fan. We got him on tape. So all in all, it was fun. Of course, don't forget to catch us at BigBallsFantasyFootball.com, our website. You're watching us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BigBallsFootball. And we still have a podcast. Please, the podcast is on its last legs. And all of you that don't have the time to watch us here on the videocast, go check us out at blogtalkradio.com/GRR. And you can take an audio recording of basically what we're talking about on here with you on your commute.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing to listen in the car and still get all your fantasy info.
Yeah.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/BigBallsFantasyFootball, and tweet us your questions at BigBallsFball. Again, we love the fan questions we get. We're answering them straight on our Facebook. We're answering them on here and on the podcast. So.
Yep. All right. Well, you're first this week. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.